Hi everyone, my name is Chris Dickey and I'm the Tuba euphonium teacher at Washington State University. Today I wanted to take some time to give some helpful hints to those of you who want to submit recorded auditions for the 2021 All Northwest Conference. So I'll start with the Arbin Etude. So here's some things that I think you could think about. Of course, play with a warm, round resonant sound throughout, even though the articulation is marked staccato. So staccato just means light or detached, bouncy, buoyant. It doesn't mean short and pecked. And when we think super short on the tuba, it makes our sound get very small, and we need the opposite. Even though it's staccato, we need warm, round, resonant sound. Work to keep the tempo consistent. Those 16th notes can be very easy to crush and rush. And the same can be said for the 8th notes as well. We want to hear steady tempo from beginning to end. And then you'll notice that the melody is basically in 4-bar chunks, 4-bar phrases. So when you're practicing, try this. Do each 4-bar phrase entirely separate. Just think of it as its own idea. And when you're practicing it, ask yourself, how's my sound? Is it remaining consistent? And then are you articulating consistently from one note to the next, one measure to the next, until you have that complete 4-bar chunk or idea? And once you're satisfied with the sound and the consistent articulation, go ahead and add on the next 4-bar phrase, and the next, and the next, and the next, until you have the entire etude. And when you're picky that way and addressing every single little note, I think you'll notice a difference in your playing, a good difference. Now, lastly, just try to make the etude fun. I know it's an etude, but it can still sound fun and charming, and you want it to be a melody that people would really want to go back and hear you play it again because of how good it sounds. So now, go listen to my recording of the Arbin excerpt. So next I'm going to discuss that Marcello excerpt. And for this one, try thinking of the following things. So number 1, tone, tone, tone. It's all about the tone. Can every single note that's coming out of your instrument, even those little 30-second notes, sound warm, rich, and full? The answer is yes, but we have to think about making them sound that way. We're in charge of our tone, even on the little tiny notes. All of the sound on every little note really matters. That music from this time period handles trills in a slightly different way. Trills are usually started on the note above the printed one that you see. So that first trill in measure 2, instead of the printed note you see, it'll actually start on C, just above it. And then so does the next trill in measure 5, that would also start on C. Don't be boring with repeated notes. Just always make them go somewhere. Here in this excerpt, go to the 2nd or 3rd note whenever you have any repeated notes. Just always go to the last one. Always keep it leaning forward. It'll make it more interesting to hear and a bit more fun to play. And lastly, while it's marked largo, it's still got to have this sense of moving forward, going. So keep it moving, and I guarantee you it's going to sound better, and it will just flow really nicely out of the instrument. It will sound lyrical and melodic, which is exactly the way that excerpt should sound. Okay, now go listen to the Marcello excerpt. Okay, now I'll finish with the Mozart Horn Concerto excerpt. So for this last one, consider the following. Keep the tone and articulation crystal clean throughout. We need to hear every single note that you play. All the repeated ones, all the ones that are moving up and down, every single one counts. Just generally speaking, this melody is kind of cutesy. It's audiences love this tune. Make it sound that way on the tuba. Even though we're borrowing it from the horn repertoire, make it believable. Anyone hearing you could think, oh yeah, of course that makes sense to play it on the tuba. Keep it cutesy, keep it light, keep it fun, and everyone will enjoy what you're doing. Don't be late after all those ties that you see in the excerpt. Often at a tie, we lose time playing our bigger wind instrument because we're going to take a breath. Think of your breaths as being a bit more rhythmic. If we're thinking steadily moving through time, we can fit the breath into that very neatly and easily. So keep your breaths rhythmic in order to keep the melody moving, moving, moving. Now, in music from Mozart's time, it was common to stress certain notes and then shy away from others, make one heavier and then another one lighter. And I think you'll hear me doing that in the second and fourth full measures, where you see the chromatic notes, and then a couple of times in the excerpt where you have that dotted quarter note G that goes down to an F. In both of those instances, you'll hear heavier notes and then lighter notes. So I hope some of these tips have been helpful for you. I'm always glad to help anyone. Don't be afraid to reach out to me via email. I'd be happy to set up a Zoom lesson or a Skype lesson just to help you out as you prepare for your recording. But good luck with everything, and I hope to hear from you. Thanks.